our last podcast talking about parallel one-on-one referred to our connection to our higher selves from the 3D to the 4D, each representing linear paths, which is why they are parallel lines, linear progression on a third dimensional stage and linear progression on a fourth dimensional stage. So now we are here with Solar Intel 1011, our connection continuously with our, fourth dimensional selves, and our connection moving even further past the fourth dimensional realm, where we are mentally tapping into the eighth dimensional energies. Like I said, being able to tap into these eighth dimensional energies and tap into that intel is where we're going at right now.
In the name of Amen, the Supreme, the All-Powerful, the one and only true Lord, in Amen we trust, in Amen we thank, and in Amen we continue forward as the real and only Republic of Intellect. Good evening, I am your host, the intellectual U.N.O.N.C, and I'm making another one of my 15-minute videos to bring some clarity, some pure enlightenment to this latest video from this individual, Zzurayss, who is, as I said, Nicholas Jackson from Las Vegas, former follower, former member of the Republic of Intellect, who was faded to black because he couldn't pay his dues of $144. He has taken it upon himself, as I said in the first video, to copy me, copy Mentellect, outright plagiarize Mentellect. 97 to 98%. I'm being nice about that. 97. Well, I'll say about 97, 98% of everything that comes out of his mouth on his latest videos is plagiarizing Mentellect, plagiarizing my words from my broadcasts and from my videos on YouTube, which you can find on the Mentellect channels, 144 Mentellect Future channels. Just look up Mentellect, you'll see our broadcasts. You may not see any of the new stuff up because YouTube, tends to flag our channels, and so I have an issue with a hard time putting up the latest broadcasts. So we're going to be on Patreon soon, but I've been transmitting and putting out broadcasts since the year 2012, and teaching even longer than that. And I'm the head of a real community. The Republic of Intellect is a real community, and we have chapters in many cities around this country and outside the country, from the UK to Holland, to UK to Netherlands, and places all over. So my thing is Germany, Israel. I can go on, but we small, but we growing, and we are a real community, of which I said Nicholas Jackson was a member of. He should know. It's really disturbing to have to listen to my work being watered down, being leaving a lot of unexplained half transmissions that came from me. So I was going to go and set this straight, as I'm going to do on all of the broadcasts that he copied from me and plagiarized from me. Yet that little 3% of what I said is his own stuff, because the 97% that comes out of his mouth is from me. About 3% come from him. I'm going to fix where he messed up at, just so you know where it's truly coming from. I was trying to listen to his video, but it was too painful to listen to. I don't like listening to him because, it's just to hear your words come back at you and them being watered down, and, the potency of it is going from the people, so you can't really hear what's being said. That bothers me, because this message came out to raise the minds of our people as the elect. In his thing, he talks about receiving knowledge from higher states, solar intel and things like this, and receiving it. My question is, why are we receiving it, and why is the third dimension here? Why did the third dimension come here? And you're talking about from the fourth dimension. What is in the fourth dimension, and who is sending these solar intel transmissions to us in the third dimension? And is it coming to everybody in the third dimension? That's my questions to him. he goes on to talk about some corona, I forget what he said. I'm not going to repeat everything verbatim because most, like I said, it's all pretty much me, but then he adds things in. But my question is, what is the reason for all of this? What is the reason for this coronal mass? What is the reason for this point of being in alignment and all of the upper dimensions? You know, what is the reason for that? You're talking about channeling from eighth dimension to the fourth dimension. You didn't mention the 12th or the 13th dimension, which I broke down in there. And there is no fifth, sixth, or seventh dimension. You are moving through from the fourth dimension into the eighth dimension. You see? So you really need to go back, Nicholas, and study Mentellect if you're going to regurgitate it. Because this is like I said, you are a pathetic student. You almost, you leave out key points in what I was teaching. And like I said, you are not a receiver. Stop saying on these videos that you are a receiver. There's only one receiver and many receptors. There's not many receivers. There's only one receiver and many receptors. You are one of my receptors. You were receptive to this message so much so that you found it within yourself to copy. You can go to his video and listen to the rest of his so-called which is really no explanation. He's just talking. And he's not syncing it up, because if you're not stating why this solar intel is coming to us in the third dimension, if you're not stating why that is, what is the purpose of that? Because in my videos, I broke down since I started teaching about the fourth dimension and the eighth dimension and the 12th dimension and the 13th dimension, which he leaves out. See, you'll only hear about the 12th and the 13th and the 8th dimension when I explain it, and then he listens to those broadcasts and he copies it and regurgitates what I'm saying. That's when you'll all of a sudden hear him having knowledge on the higher or the upper dimensions. See, I haven't really explained the 8th dimension yet. I broke down the 4th dimension, and I said that our ascendants, who are of Amen, who are the Amen race, they are in the 4th dimension, and we are being raised toward them as the elect. Now, he never mentions the name Amen, because Amen is the point of reception. While we are getting reception here to be raised from the third dimension and into the fourth dimension, that represents our ascendance. That's the higher self or the extended self I'm talking about. That is the Amen race, which we are a part of, which I brought that knowledge out to those who are going to be in reception of it, the receptors who are going to receive this message that we are not part of the human race, us as bronze people, the bright race, which comes from he tried to use ultra standing, then he tried to change to mega standing. He's just making up stuff as he go along, trying to replace words so y'all don't catch and copying off of Mentellect. So my point is that the whole reason for receiving this reception, this transmission on this solar intel, again, a terminology that came from me through Mentellect, was that it was being sent from our ascendants, our children in the future who are in the fourth dimension, who are in the eighth dimension. They're sending transmission back into the third dimension to pull us forward into the fourth dimension. That's what I teach in Intellect. You see, Nicholas will leave that out, because if he says that, then it's a dead giveaway. That if he uses the word Amen, that's a dead giveaway. So he takes everything out. He takes Amen out, which if you are concealing the true source of the Most High, which is Amen, as that Amen race, if you are concealing that name, you're just like the white man, like I said, because that's what the white man does. He takes out bits and pieces of what he wants to use, and he leaves out the most important parts, which is what Nicholas did when he did not mention Amen's name. He did not mention why we are in reception to this transmission, and I said that is so that we can restore law and order going forward in the upper dimensions, so we can become a part of that linear line of law and order out of this circular three-dimensional realm. I broke all that down, and you get to hear a piece of that, and you can hear more of that on my radio broadcast Sunday through Saturday, 10 p.m. Eastern Time to 12 a.m. Eastern Time. You see, Eastern Standard Time. So 10 p.m. Eastern Standard to 12 a.m. I do a 2-hour broadcast on all topics. I've been doing this since 2012. I got way over 2,000 broadcasts, which Nicholas has copied from. He has plagiarized from. He joined the Republic of Mentellect just so he can listen to the message, copy, or get books and things like that, which I don't think he ever got any books. We might have sent him some books, we send to our members. But like I said, it is really sad Really sad to hear him plagiarize to try to build on another man's foundation. Those of you who are listening to his broadcast, or and you getting blown away by it, know the true origin of his broadcast or this transmission that he claimed he getting. Know that the true origin is me. It's me. It has always been me. All that old stuff he did going back over a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, that stuff he came up with. That stuff he came listening to a bunch of nonsense and just basically babbling from other people he heard from. And like I said, y'all do him no disservice. You do him no justice by aiding in his delusion that this is actually coming from him. See, I got to set the record straight, because when you hear these terms that come from Mentellect, and you hear somebody like him leaving out important parts, it takes away the power of the transmission that you all are getting to receive this message. That's why I'm coming behind and doing that, to try to bring you into alignment with the true source of this intel. This is why I'm doing that. I'm not doing it because I'm trying to hate on him or tear him down, because he tried to make it seem like, we doing something wrong by telling the truth. Because if this is all about reality, this is supposed to be about reality. This transmission comes through me from our ascendants, which is the Zzurayss race, separate from the human race. This is what he won't teach. I said this transmission comes through our ascendants, which is the Zzurayss race. And if you're not of the Zzurayss race, then you're not going to receive this transmission. He's not of the Zzurayss race. He only heard bits and pieces of it. He ain't listening to it because he's unable to listen. The point is that this is dealing with reality. So we don't have time to play games with people. This is about the upliftment of our people, the chosen. And the chosen ones, like I said, are going to be the elected 144,000 that's spoken of in the book of Revelation. I spoke on that. Like I said, I know Nicholas leaves that out because he wants to shave off bits and pieces. But see, that's the attribute of a black devil. Someone who got the same spirit as the white man. You claiming that you about the soul and the evolution of our people. So then why are you lying? Why are you concealing the truth about where you really get this transmission from? You talking about why are you not pointing people to Mentellect channel, Nicholas? Because you want to just really make it about you. You don't care about nobody else, like I said in the first video. So I'm setting the record straight on your watered-down solar intel explanation, which the solar intel came from me, and that solar intel is only for the elect. That solar intel is Mentellect, and it's only Mentellect. And that's all you copying from. You are not a receiver. You are a receptor. You are you are receptive to my message, my reception. You are receptive to my reception. You are not a receiver. You are a second-hand, watered-down version of me. That's all you are, copying somebody verbatim. And you do yourself a great disservice, because what you're really saying is you're unworthy to be a receiver. And I said, everybody out here, everybody's not meant to be a receiver. There's only going to be one receiver and many receptors. Like I said, you were one of my many receptors. That's why you joined the Republic of Mentellect. And you like what you heard, so much so that you decide to jack it for yourself and try to act like people, you thought that people this was not going to get back to people, or that people wasn't going to find out about this. This is how delusional you are. This is how delusional you are. And that, again, this is another reason why I can listen to your entire video. Like I said, I don't need to hear myself coming back at me and watered down in a watered-down version. Why I couldn't stand to listen to you is because you have a very effeminate energy, a very female energy on your voice. I'm not trying to be funny, but I say the female energy that I picked up is that energy of jealousy and envy that you exude from you, and this is why you stutter in your words, you nervous, you could tell it seems like you reading off or something. This is really sick and pathetic, and that you would do something like this, something that has come through that is meant to be pure, to purify the minds, the bodies, and the souls of our people, that you take, Nicholas, that you decide to take, Nicholas, and water it down, and just so you can attach it to you. So for what? So you can get some thumbs up and likes and comments? Because that's all you really in it for. You are not no leader of no community. You know there's no community. You live in Las Vegas. Your name is Nicholas Jackson. Stop lying to the people. Stop lying to the people, Nicholas. Stop this madness, because I'm going to come at you with every video you do that got my titles, and I'm going to come at you, and it's going to always be videos up for you, so that the people can learn, so that they can learn the truth. They need to know this reality. They need to know the reality of your so-called transmission that you're destroying and you're watering down for them. You're ruining it for the people that are listening to you. You're ruining it because you're not giving them the real, raw, and uncut. You can't do that because it's not coming from you. Stop lying to the people, Nicholas, Zzurayss, Nucleus, whatever the hell you calling yourself. Stop lying to the people. And that go for your buddy, New Bright 10, Futuritarian. Y'all made up that Futuritarian shit. Y'all need to cut this shit out, man. This is really sad and this is really pathetic. And like I said, I'm going to set the record straight. And I'm doing this for the people that hear this message. And that's it. Going to close out in the name of Amen by the power of Amen. And Amen I trust and I thank Amen. I will continue this message forward forever. Hail Amen. Hail Mentellect. Hail this transmission forever. Good night.